Whoa, that's not what I want.
Yes, I have an hour on a Zoom call. That's right. And then Thursday, maybe and I have an hour on Zoom.
4 o'clock. Don't forget I'm here.
Because I don't know about putting my camera on. I don't know how to do it. Oh, is my camera here?
Camera.
I don't have a camera.
No, but you got a camera over mine.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock. So I want to go ahead and get started. It looks like we have most of our group members here. I want to welcome you all. My name is Alana Hine. I'm an organizational development consultant in private practice, and me and my colleague Cindy Kagan will be supporting the work of this group over the next year to look at the 2420 working group topics. A few reminders as we get started. First of all, this is a public meeting and it is being recorded. We will be taking notes and we will share notes with you all after the meeting. The folks who are invited to speak and participate and post in the chat are people who are appointed as work group members. If any of you have a question about if you're a work group member, please let me know. And I have the list of people who are appointed to be on this work group. I'll be happy to help clarify that. There are just a few ground rules for this work group that I'd like to go over. They're also included on the agenda, and they'll be included on every agenda. The first one is my favorite, of course, let the facilitator facilitate. So that means do things like use the raise hand function to let me know if you have something to say. Share the air. Those of us who like to talk a lot, we know who we are. Please try and keep your comments succinct so that there is time for other people to also make comments. Please plan to participate and engage in the discussions with sharing your views and perspectives. We're going to be maintaining a parking lot so that something that comes up that's off topic, that isn't what we're talking about at the moment, we will capture so that we will be able to come back to it. Feel free and you are encouraged to ask questions. That's going to be a big part of our approach. Listen to understand. So if something is confusing or you have questions about it, please go ahead and ask questions, get clarification. Use the raise hand function to speak, and use the chat just to, like, if you are sharing a link to a document or something you want people to have access to, please don't carry on a separate conversation in the chat because it's too hard to track and it splits people's attention. So again, only group members who are appointed can speak in the meeting or share in the chat. The meetings will be recorded and we'll be sending out notes within 2 weeks. Any questions about the ground rules for the meetings? Our goal is to meet once a month and we'll talk about the cadence, the timing of the meetings at the end of the agenda. Next, we're going to do a round of introductions. I'm hoping to get to know you all. The introductory questions are your name, pronouns, if you want to share pronouns, the perspective that you bring to this conversation, and something you like about where you live, which also gives us a chance to hear from you where you live, because I know that there are people from all across the state who are in this work group. Looking forward to hearing about where you live. In the interest of of effective use of time, when we get to the introductions, I'm going to call down the list of people who are, as people are listed in the people, under the people tab. So I'll let you know when it's going to be your turn to speak. So if we can go ahead and get started, the first two things that are listed are phones without names to them. So I don't know somebody's phone number that starts with 12 and ends with 92. Can you tell us who you are, please?
Sure, that is myself, Shauna Peterson.
Okay. Thank you. So that makes you first up for doing the introductions, if you're willing. Your name, pronouns, if you want to share, the perspective that you bring to the conversation, and something you like about where you live.
Sure, happy to. My name again is Shauna Peterson. I am an attorney in Ontario, so far eastern Oregon. I love the rural way of life and the opportunities it presents like this to get involved. And what I bring to the table is my practice focuses on a lot of succession planning, estate planning, and administration. So primarily on the death certificate end of things, and hopefully I can share some practical experiences, and I look forward to doing so.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Shauna. The next that person that's in the list is their phone number ends in 32, starts in 15 and ends in 32. Can you tell us who you are, please?
Hi, my name is Lisa Mendoza. I'm with Umatilla County in Pendleton, so Eastern Oregon, also kind of in the center of it all. I love my Eastern Oregon, Oregonian, born and raised, so that's the part I enjoy the most. And then my perspective is we have a very diverse community, like most of you do, but so much in trying to help these people that don't understand where they need to go, how they can get things done, where they get their information corrected and fixed, or where, kind of things like that, to understand and be able to help them more.
Great. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Then I have Beverly and is next. Beverly, you want to introduce yourself? Maybe Beverly can't hear
Yes.
quite yet.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry, Beverly LaFollette with Burns Mortuary. I am also in Umatilla County. I am, I guess, the one that brought the bill forward on this issue with the death certificates and the birth certificates, to have them more accessible, I guess. But for as far as for Eastern Oregon, I think we all just love the more rural life, more simple life, quieter type of live stream out this way. And I appreciate everybody that's here and going to have some input on this.
Thank you, Beverly. Nice to meet you. Then their next person who I think is on the working group is Chad. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you. My name is Chad Dresselhaus. I'm the executive director of the Oregon Mortuary and Cemetery Board. So tightly connected to this. We work, as you can imagine or not, we work closely with vital records, vital statistics in multiple capacities. So very interested in how this conversation is going. I currently reside in Milwaukee, so it's a small enough town to where you kind of feel like you know everyone, although you don't, and it's kind of centrally located where you can travel elsewhere pretty quickly as well. So kind of a hidden jewel, like probably many of you think, believe where you live. So thank you for inviting me to this. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chad. Nice to meet you. Next, we have Lucy Ann and then Ginger. Lucy Ann.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, my camera's not working today. I'm Lucy Gibson, she, her. I am the District 4 Federal Revenue Specialist for the Oregon Department of Human Services Child Welfare, and I'm responsible for ordering any birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, any of that kind of stuff that we need to support our kiddos in foster care, resource care, excuse me. I live on the Oregon coast in Newport and have been here most of my life and love it. Can't get away from the ocean.
Thank you, Lucy. Nice to meet you. We have next Ginger.
Hi, my name is Ginger Sorolla. I reside in Medford, Oregon, Jackson County Vital Records, so I face the public. I'm interested to find what this meeting is about because in regards to birth and death records, I think it's a great service for our public to provide for them. And as far as wonderful little spots, close to the California border, so there's a lot of wonderful places to, I like to camp. So there's lakes and rivers. It's a wonderful paradise. Thank you.
Thank you, Ginger. Nice to meet you. The next person in the working group is Joy. Do you want to introduce yourself, Joy?
Hi, I'm Joy Goodwin. I am Douglas County Vital Records Registrar. I have only lived in Oregon 5 years, but I absolutely love it. The green. I'm from California, Northern California, and it's a lot more rural here than what I'm used to, but I love it. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Then I think the next person in the list that's on the group is Derek.
Hi, my name's Derek Patterson. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the liaison to the counties for the State Vital Records Office. And so the perspective that I bring is a state vital records perspective, but with a very strong focus on partners, especially funeral homes and county staff. I started out working for Vital Records as an amendment specialist, working with funeral directors to amend death records. And in my current job as the liaison to the counties, I get to visit the county Vital Records offices and funeral homes across the state. So I bring sort of an approach of trying to look at state vital records, but with our partners. And what I like about where I live, I'm literally on the border of Portland and Gresham. And I love that I can be in sort of big city if I want, or it's a very short drive to get into rural communities and get back to my rural roots. I grew up in a really small town, so I like being on the edge of things.
Thanks, Derek. Next we have Sarah Reynolds. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, can everybody hear me? I've never done this before. Thank you. I'm Sarah. I'm the office manager at Macy and Son Funeral Home in McMinnville. I've been here almost 10 years. So my perspective is only with the death certificates and getting those to families, etc. Here in McMinnville, I love McMinnville. We're, an hour away from the beach, an hour away from the Portland airport. Still feels like a small town though. And I grew up here, so I do like it.
Thank you, Sarah. Nice to meet you. Paula, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. So I'm Paula Souls. I'm representing Clackamas County Vital Records. So we're a county birth and death certificate office. We process quite a bit. It's a large county. So, and our office and my home, they're both in Oregon City, and I really like it here. I live in a rural area and drive 10 minutes, and I'm, in the city and enjoying both worlds. It's fantastic. So short commute, nice people. You can see Mount Hood from a lot of places, so it's kind of cool.
Thank you, Paula. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for the invitation.
So next is Virginia.
Hi, my name is Virginia Lopez. I work for the Harney County Health Department. I print out birth and death certificates, and I like the small town living.
Thank you, Virginia. Nice to meet you. Next is Wally.
Hi, everybody. I'm Wally Ordeman, funeral director from Albany and the executive director for the Oregon Funeral Directors Association. Served as the association lobbyist for 15 years. And I live in Albany, known as the Hub City. We're an hour and a half to Portland, an hour and a half to the Cascades, and an hour and a half to the coast. And it's a great spot to be. So appreciate the invite and looking forward to working with all of you.
Thanks. Nice to meet you, Ollie. Jennifer.
Hi, thank you so much, Alana. I'm Jennifer Woodward. I am the State Registrar Manager for the Center for Health Statistics. So my perspective is overseeing the State Vital Records Office. And I live in North Portland, and so I like the city, but I also love Oregon in the sense of that you've got the coast, an hour and a half away. You've got the snow an hour and a half away, and it's green. So and great people and a great city. So and thank you, Alana.
Thank you, Jennifer. Nice to meet you all. So just a brief review of the rest of our agenda now that we've met each other. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all of the group members, everybody's been appointed to be a group member, has introduced themselves. So flag me down if I missed anybody who's appointed to be a group member. That would be by using the raise hand function. We are going to, in a minute, hear an orientation to 2420 and kind of an orientation to the work of this work group. And then we're going to talk for a couple of minutes about interest-based problem solving, the approach that I'd like to invite the group to use to come up with and engage in collaborative problem solving. And then we're going to talk about scheduling our meetings through the rest of the year, through 2024. And then we'll do an evaluation of how today's meeting went. My philosophy is if you're going to have a meeting more than once, it pays to get feedback on how it went so that you can improve it. So that's what that last evaluation piece is. Any questions from the group members about the agenda or what we're going to be working on today? Okay. Then I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer to do the orientation to 2420. I think there are some slides that you're going to share. Do you want to share screen? I don't know how you want to do that. Perfect.
Right. Well, thank you, Alana. I'm going to take about 10 minutes to just do a quick overview of House Bill 2420. And before I dive into the actual bill itself, I'm going to provide a little bit of context of the state, the state of Oregon's vital records system. This is a collective community related to vital records. And just again, the state's whole vital records and vital statistics system is established in law. It's ORS 432, and it requires every vital event that occurs in Oregon to be recorded and retained permanently. And all of you have an understanding, and I recently did this presentation, so I had to explain what a vital event is. A vital event are births, deaths, marriages, divorces, and fetal deaths. And I think it's interesting to note, too, that the collective vital record system in Oregon is 120 years old. We have birth records and death records since 1903. We've been registering in the state as a whole marriage records since 1906, fetal death records since 1919, divorce records since 1925 and Oregon Registered Domestic Partners since 2008. So one of the things we want to think about is what our collective work is. Why is our collective work important? What is the collective community of vital records? Why is it important? Well, first of all, it's important because vital records are legal records of the event. And Oregonians need certified copies of these records to complete their essential life tasks. So, you need a birth certificate to establish your identity, to get a job, to get a driver's license, to get benefits, to get your kids in school, or to get a passport. On the other end of the life spectrum, you need a death certificate to settle the affairs of a loved one who has died. So really the importance of these legal records. There's also a component of the other aspect of the vital records and vital statistics system in the state of Oregon is that the information from the vital records is really foundational in the state to understand the health of a population. We use vital statistics data throughout the state to examine health disparities by race, ethnicity, age, marital status, gender, and education. So part of being a modern vital records and vital statistics system is we collect and report vital statistics information in real time, so we can quickly assess the health and well-being of our population to address health inequities. So it's the statistic piece, as well as I've just shared, and also the vital statistics legal record, what is so important. What's also really important is the vital records system depends on and is utilized by our partners throughout the state, including all of you who are on this work group, vital records offices, funeral directors, our county clerks, our circuit courts, medical examiners, birth information specialists, and midwives. Continuing on a little bit more of the overview of the vital records and vital statistics system is that state and county vital records offices rely on their fees to be operational. And state and county vital records offices keep those fees and certificates that they sell. So the differences in the timing, and this is where I'm getting into a little bit of the context of House Bill 2420. So for the first 6 months of the event, birth and death certificates can be purchased from the county where the birth or the death occurred. So it's this is current process and current law. And the county receives the standard fee of $25 for birth certificate. So if the event occurs after 6 months, birth and death certificates must be purchased from the state vital records office, and the state vital records office receives that fee. So now kind of turning a bit to what House Bill 2420 was doing. So House Bill 2420 was introduced, and the idea was let's increase the accessibility to vital records. So House Bill 2420 proposed removing the time and place restrictions that were on the counties issuing birth and death certificates. So the original introduced bill said any county vital records office would be able to issue any certificate regardless of where it occurred and when it occurred. And there was concern that there would be too much revenue from the certificate shifted to the counties, that the state vital record system would not be operational. So we were able to get the bill was amended, and it was amended to convene this work group, and that's what we're doing now. We're convening this work group. So the enrolled bill first states that the Oregon Health Authority shall designate a work group comprised of representatives of the county vital records offices, funeral directors, others, partners, community members, to propose options for equitable access to birth and death certificates throughout the state and equitable revenue to maintain and improve the state county vital records system. So our task is to do that, and our task is also to report to an interim committee of the Legislative Assembly related to vital records, the options proposed by the work group, and the report is due no later than January 1st of 2025. So that's all I have on the overview of House Bill 2420. And I'd like to thank you for the time on the agenda to be able to share this.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any questions from work group members about the presentation, about what we're here to do? or about what vital records are, any of the concepts or the vocabulary that was just introduced? Anybody have questions? You can use the raise hand function and I will call on you. Okay, I'm not seeing any raised hands or questions. So the next piece of conversation, information that I'd like to present is the process that I would suggest that we use to come up with ideas about how to address the issues that were raised in the bill. So the process that I want to suggest is called interest-based problem solving. The name is not important. What is important is the goal of trying to understand and uncover people's interests rather than talking about taking positions or people trying to persuade other people to their position. So I'll give you a kind of a classic example. So there are two people, let's call them Bobby and Mike. And Bobby and Mike all of a sudden find themselves in a position where they need to share an office. And the office has a window. It was occupied by other people before, but now it's Bobby and Mike's office. And Bobby says when they move in, I need the window open. That's a position. The window has to be open. And Mike says, I need the window closed. That's a position. Window has to be closed. There are reasons for those positions, right? People took those positions for a reason. And so the uncovering interests question is, what would it mean to you to have the window open? What would it mean to you to have the window closed? So I'm going to ask Bobby, why is it important to you to have the window opened? And Bobby says, well, I get hot flashes and I really need airflow and I need to be able to cool things down. And plus whoever was in here before had some bad cologne or perfume and it bothers me how it smells. The window has to be open. Okay. But now we understand the reason is to control the temperature and to control the odor. Now we ask Mike, why are you saying the window has to be closed? And Mike says, well, I have allergies. And if the window's open, I'm going to be scratching my eyes and itching and coughing and sneezing, and I'll be miserable. So if we take the positions has to be open, has to be closed, and we go underneath that and we ask for what's the reason, the meaning, what's important to you about having the situation resolved in this way, now we get something more clear. We get temperature control and we get allergy control. So can you think of, this is a genuine question to you all, is there a way to address temperature control and allergy control and meet the needs of both of the parties without just having to argue positions, has to be open, has to be closed? Anybody think of a way that these two people with this sharing this new office might be able to resolve the situation? Ginger, what do you think?
Well, I suppose the individual who gets hot frequently, perhaps a fan could be provided for that individual. For the person that has allergies, I mean, we're talking medical stuff here, but hopefully they're taking their allergy medicine, if that helps prevent. That would be my guess.
Sure, because a fan, go ahead, Lucy, go ahead.
I would suggest, I like the fan idea, but part of the problem, his problem, or with the airflow and temperature, he also commented on odor, lingering odor. So I would suggest that the two of them together request from management or whomever they need to, facilities, whatever, request that a thorough cleaning be done on the carpet, wipe down the walls, whatever. Then the fan can come into play to support that airflow. I got to respect keeping the window closed for the allergies. As somebody who suffers occasionally, that's going to be the only thing that's going to keep those allergies at bay, along with taking their medicine. But that's my thought.
Yeah. Thanks, Lucy. Other thoughts about how to meet the interests of both of these people? Yeah. So those are both great suggestions. Get the space cleaned and bring in a fan. So the idea or the kind of approach I want to invite in our conversations in this work group are to identify the interests. What is it that you're trying to accomplish, rather than getting entrenched in positions? It has to be this way, it has to be that way. So I want to introduce this concept of uncovering interests, and I'll be asking, as we're going through the discussions about the various aspects of this topic, what is the interest that's being served? What is the need here? What does it mean to you to have the decision go this way or a different way, right? So that's a way, I think, to both enrich and deepen the conversation, but also come up with alternative approaches that could be collaborative approaches rather than just taking positions. Any questions so far about the interest-based problem-solving approach? Again, you have to remember the name, but the approach for this work group to be trying to learn what are people trying to accomplish with whatever solutions they propose. Questions or comments about that? Okay. So the last topic, we're moving through our agenda pretty quickly today. The last topic today is to figure out a regular cadence of meetings. And what's suggested in the agenda is the 12th, December 12th at 4. 12/12 at 4, and I know that there's a time change, that we're in two different time zones here, so I don't know if a 4 o'clock meeting is acceptable, or if you'd want to move it back an hour, so it's still inside your regular work day. But what I wanted to suggest and see if we could get agreement about was having the second Tuesday at either 3 or 4 o'clock Pacific time, to see if we could come to agreement about having that as a standing meeting time for 2024, at least till next October or November. So give people a chance to glance at their calendars. And I particularly would welcome hearing from the folks in Ontario if a 3 or 4 o'clock start Pacific time, which is 4 or 5 o'clock, if you want to weigh in on that.
This is Shauna Peterson. I think I'm the only one on the frontier and on Mountain Time. And I couldn't raise my hand, sorry. I was only able to be on the phone tonight. And that's because I have to juggle a few things for 5 o'clock. So if there's a need, I can make 5 to 6 my time work, but it would be better for me 4 to 5 or 3 o'clock, the earlier time Pacific, if at all possible.
Okay, thank you for that. So then let's refine the question to be, could people make the second Tuesday at 3 o'clock Pacific time work for 2024? Wally, I'm seeing you nodding. That's very helpful. I appreciate the feedback. Chad, I see your hand.
I have a standing meeting, sorry.
Oh, thank you. Our board meetings are typically the second Tuesday of the month. So we typically have quarterly meetings. So April and July, well, in January, we have a later meeting because it's going to be a 2-day, which is unusual for us. But April, July, and October, I believe those are all second Tuesday of the month. So, I mean, just because that's my schedule doesn't mean it should necessarily put things to a grinding halt either, though. So just wanted to bring that up.
Okay. Paula, I see your hand.
Yeah, I have every Tuesday meetings from 3 to 4, but if it's once a month, I think I can just miss one of the meetings. You know,
Okay.
one of my standing meetings, not this one.
So there's a couple of conflicts. So then my fallback position is the third Tuesday. Would it make it, Chad, does it make it easier for you, or is it every Tuesday? I'm not sure.
That would work for me. Yeah, we only have one board meeting during
Okay.
that particular month, so quarterly. So yeah, the third Tuesday should not be a problem.
Third Tuesday could work for you. Paula, it sounds like you could miss one of your standing meetings a month. If it was the third Tuesday, would that be a problem?
No, that will be okay. Thank you.
Other people, third Tuesday at 3 o'clock for our ongoing meetings. Thumbs up from Wally, thank you. If you want to register a reaction, there's a reaction button. It looks like a smiley face. You can also, I see Lucy's thumbs up. Anybody else have reactions? Jennifer.
Third Tuesday works for me except for the 12th, on December 12th. So, because I will be out of town. But the rest of the year for 2024, it works.
Okay, the 12th is the second Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is that one okay for you or no?
For me, yes, the 12th of December is works for me, and then for 2024, the third Tuesday is fine.
Okay, so thank you for making that distinction. That's very helpful. So can folks meet on the 12th? And I think we're going for 3 o'clock to deal with the time issue. So okay, let me make this. So going forward for 2024, we're going to be looking at the third Tuesday at 3 o'clock Pacific, right? And so I want to give a pause and make sure that that's okay. 2024, third Tuesday, 3 o'clock Pacific. Okay, thank you for nodding, Chad. I appreciate it. And thank you for the thumbs up, Lucy. So then the next question is, just because December is December, it's complicated, right? Month for people. Can we meet for our next meeting on the 12th of December, which is the second Tuesday, but it'll be our only second Tuesday meeting at 3. Thank you for the thumbs up. Anybody? Okay, thank you, Lucy. Anybody else? I see a hand. Wait, whose hand is that? Where'd the hand go? Can you unmute and tell me who you are? I missed your hand. Is there another hand?
This is Lisa. I'm good with any of the dates that work for everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Okay. So we have a plan going forward. We're going to meet just in December on the 12th, which is the second Tuesday at 3. And then going forward through the year, we're going to meet the third Tuesday at 3. And what you can expect is you can expect to get the agenda a week ahead of time. You'll get the notes a couple of weeks after the meeting. And we can also attach them to the agenda so that you can look at and review. A little bit of a foreshadowing for our next meeting on December 12th. which is that we're going to be asking you, and again, you'll get an agenda in advance. You'll see all these questions. You'll have an opportunity to think about them in advance. But to think about the questions that you might have going through this process, if there are folks that it would make sense to invite to make presentations to the work group. So the meeting on the 12th is really going to be a brainstorming meeting. Feel free to have an extra cup of coffee after lunch to get your brain going and in gear for our brainstorming kind of question idea generating session at 3 o'clock on the 12th. So that's what you can expect from our next meeting. And then we will use that meeting on the 12th of December to help us set an agenda and a plan for the meetings, the monthly meetings throughout the year. So we are likely to generate a bunch of topics. We will address each topic month by month as we go through and use this interest-based problem solving, this idea of uncovering what are the interests or the needs behind the requests that people have as a way to help us collaborate and identify potential approaches. Questions about any of that?
Will you be sending out like a meeting request?
I'm sorry, a media request?
Meeting request, like so we can
Meeting
put it on the
request.
calendars. Yes.
Absolutely. We will send out a meeting hold so that you can have it on your calendar for the year. That's a great suggestion, Virginia. Thank you. Yeah. And we will always be meeting virtually. This is 100% virtual work group. So we'll always be meeting in this format, in this Teams format. The next time that we meet, we'll probably be using a virtual whiteboard to capture ideas. But we didn't need to use that for today. Okay. Other questions? And I think you all got a copy of the PowerPoint. People got a copy of the PowerPoint already. It was included in the invite. So feel free to share any questions that you have from that. If there's any vocabulary or any concepts that you want to know more about, that would be something great to bring up next time. Lucy, I see your hand.
I just have a quick question. This will help me to generate, the creative juices. Is Oregon, does it participate in the nationwide Vital Check network for people out of state that are requesting Oregon records, or are we a closed system? I think that's a question for Jennifer, maybe.
Yeah. So customers can order from the State Vital Records Office using Vital Check. It's for phone and internet orders. So that is the option. Yes, at the state.
So would you be willing to explain what Vital Check is?
So Vital Check is a vendor. So Vital Check is the vendor that has a call center and also processes vital records orders. So they are contracted with the state of Oregon to take the telephone orders and also the internet orders, and they do help do all the processing of the credit cards. The other component of Vital Check is they also happen to be our vendor that is responsible for what's the State Vital Records System, an application known as OVERS, the Oregon Vital Events Registration System. So it's a complete system for the entire Vital Records system, and Vital Check is our vendor for there as well.
Real quick, I'll explain because of my perspective and my job and what's required of me. I am the one that orders all of the birth certificates, death certificates, any vital records from anywhere. And I do have to say that I love OVERS. I wish that Vital Check worked kind of like OVERS, because if I have missing information, I can't order an out-of-state vital record. If I don't have a court order, I can't order a record from out of state unless I have all of the information and almost always a court order showing custody of the child. I just wish that I could access other states' vital records as easily as I could in through OVERS for Oregon. That's all.
Thank you, Lucy. Other questions? Okay. So the last piece of the work today is just what I call a plus delta, which is an evaluation check-in of how today's meeting went. Again, because we're going to be doing this for a while, it makes sense for us to keep getting better at it. So the question is, what went well or what could have gone better, either for yourself or for the group, in terms of process, how we work together, or content, the work that we got done. So went well, could have gone better, yourself, the group, process, or content. Any thoughts about how today's meeting went, including if you have any tech feedback or anything about how today went for you? Lucy?
I think it went extremely well. You are so very organized. I love the way you facilitate. Everyone takes turns, shares the air. I like it. I'm comfortable here. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Any other comments about how today's meeting went for everyone? Virginia?
I agree. Yeah, it went really well. So thank you again, Alana. I think it's a very diverse group and we come from different areas. And so I guess we'll have different ideas of the whole purpose of why we're here. So I like it will be once a month and just a short 1 hour, not 3-hour meeting. So I appreciate that too.
Thank you. Yes, most people are in favor of shorter meetings, yeah, in my experience. Yeah. Other comments or thoughts? Part of the facilitating virtual meetings is comfort with awkward pauses and silences. So I'm just leaving space for people to jump in if they have anything else. And also, I'll say, if you want to communicate something offline, if there's something that we could do to enhance your ability to participate or to support your participation, please feel free to reach out. We want to make sure that people feel like this is a space where you can speak and share your opinions. All the group members, you're invited to reach out. If there's something that we could do to make your experience better, we would love to know about it. So not only was it a short 1-hour meeting, we're ending a few minutes early, and you'll get the notes from this meeting and you'll get you'll get an agenda for the 12th. Yeah, be prepared to bring your brainstorming brain cells with you on the 12th. Thank you, everyone. Lovely to meet you. Looking forward to working together. Take care. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.